The Nothing But Niner crew is back, man. We are hitting you guys with a very late show. We're starting this thing almost tomorrow. All right. We're about 5 minutes away from midnight over here on the East Coast, and we did it like this on purpose. We're here to talk day 6 of training camp. I want to thank you guys for checking us all out here. All right. Guys, make sure you go through the formalities with us. Don't log us out or anything like that. Watch this part, and then we'll get down to the meat and potatoes of the show. I'm 49ers Mike _NFL, and I'm here to bring you guys the Nothing But Niners show. If this is your first time here checking us out, make sure you do us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on those little notifications, hit the bell, so you know exactly when we're going live. That way you don't miss a thing. You're not going to want to miss anything. I promise you that, okay? Guys, hit the website, www.nothingbutniners.com. There, you are going to be able to see everything that we do, articles, podcasts, videos, social media accounts, all that good stuff. Our social medias, if you look down here at the bottom of the screen, Nothing But 9 ERS on Twitter and Snapchat. We are also Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out. And there is going to be on Facebook and Instagram. So make sure you give us a follow on all of those avenues as well, okay? Also, guys, make sure you are logged into the podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, SoundCloud, anywhere you listen to your podcast. We are there. You're not going to want to miss it. I got my man Tony here. I got my man Nick here. And we're going to have a special guest popping in here, hopefully around 12 o'clock exactly. Fellas, bring in the gang. What is going on, fellas, man? Everybody's off of mute. Hold up. There we go. Let's see. Here we go. What's going on, fellas? How y'all feeling?
What up, what up, what up?
Hey, my man Nick. Tony, what's up? Getting busy in the office today.
Fellas? Yeah, what's going on?
No show from the garage. Nick, how you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. I just came back from my best friend's 40th surprise party, so it was pretty good. Things were popping. It's pretty good. So big shout out to him. Happy birthday.
There you go. Now, it's his birthday today, or is it technically?
Yeah, actually today and his son's birthday today. So that was his 21st birthday present. So his son turned 19 and he turned 40. So it's pretty good.
That's crazy. His son is greedy. Greedy as hell, man.
Yeah.
Let him have his own day.
That's funny.
That's what's up, man. Tony, man, what about you, man? How was your day going over there, bro?
Good. Just spent the day with the kids. Some errands, stuff like that, stuff around the house. Trying to keep up on Twitter with all the news from training camp. And I'm just looking forward to talk about it tonight.
Absolutely. We're going to break all that stuff down here, man. We're going to get to this nitty gritty. Now, guys, we have a member of Nothing But Niners who has a birthday coming up in a couple of minutes. So I hope you guys have your drinks ready for him, because I told him we should do birthday drinks. We should toast to him. So if you guys don't have something, run and go get something. I don't care if it's water. This is for everybody in the chat room also. Guys, go get something to drink, man. We're going to celebrate one of our guys' birthdays. But before we get to that, we got to start talking about this training camp, man. There's a lot of news that came out of 49ers camp today. And, you know, not all of it was good. Not all of it was good. Not all of it was bad. Is there anywhere in particular you guys want to start, or should I go ahead and just lead us off? I want to start with some injuries personally. All right? You good with that?
Yeah.
All right. So the injuries. All right, hold on. Let me change something up really quick here. I want to change this to – there we go. Oh, look at that. I like that one. It's nice and dark. Yeah, I like that one. Okay. All right. Playing around with this thing here. All right. So 49ers off the field practice. Guys did not practice today. DeForest Buckner from the toe. D Ford, the knee tendonitis. Free safety Jimmy Ward. That's the collarbone. Joshua Garnett, the finger. All right. Akello Witherspoon did individual drills, but then he went in and he did not return. The team later on reported that it was the glutes. It was something going on in the buttocks. All right. Must have been $1 million wound, because I never saw a penny of that money. All right. That's a little Forrest Gump quote for you guys. Come on, lighten up, fellas. Anything here concerning? Anything bothering you guys about any of this stuff here?
Not really. I mean, the toe with Buckner, he was out there hitting the sled today. So that's nothing like he was coming off his feet. I think it's just pretty much I think the way Kyle Shanahan and this team is approaching this team this year is just everything safety right now. Precautionary. Don't keep them out, and do those type of things. With the with the Akello injury. You know, what'd you say it was? You said it was his knee, right? Because he banged it yesterday.
I didn't say that yet.
Oh,
I said it was, the team said it was his glutes, but we are going to get to what it actually was.
yeah. So that, I mean, I know he banged his knee yesterday. The knee tendonitis, I'm not really worried about in D Ford as well, because of the fact that he said that this pretty much happens every training camp. It's just, you know, the team is just taking it precautionary. No sense in getting him out there. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I got.
All right. I mean, Tony, you got some other guys that got a chance to step up today and step in. We heard some positive things about Bosa. We're going to get to that. We heard that Verrett actually got the first team reps and start of Akello Witherspoon. Your thoughts on all that stuff that went down? Any of these injuries concerning to you, man?
As far as the injuries that we just talked about, Buckner, I'm not concerned about because, like Nick said, he was working out, doing half a 50-yard sprints and pushing sleds. So if there was a real issue, he would not be able to do that. The Keller one is a little concerning. The one that really pisses me off is the Garnett one, but whatever, it is what it is. And none of them, as far as Ford, I mean, he's got a little tendonitis. You know, it is concerning, but it's not that concerning. So overall, they don't say. I'd like to report Jason Verrett performing with the first team reps. I think he had a couple pass breakups, and most important, with no complications from his prior Achilles injury, showing that he is back and I'm gonna say fully recovered from that injury. And hopefully he can stay healthy.
Awesome, man. You bypassed right over my guy, Joshua Garnett, man. You guys know how strongly I felt about this young man, and I am super concerned with his well-being and his spot. You know, this guy needed to come in here and have a strong camp. He's not able to just show up and be like, all right, guys, I'm back. Where's my spot? This is a guy that was battling last year with Mike Person, and now Mike Person's back. They ended up extending him, and Garnett is on the outside looking in. You need these precious reps, and he's just not able to do it. But let's talk about the whispers, okay? Here's some of the whispers. Nick alluded to it a couple of seconds ago when he was speaking, and that even though the team reported that it was the glutes, we have some inside information here that it's actually his knee. Akello Witherspoon's knee is actually what the issue is. And so we don't know how serious it is. Why would the team, I'm going to ask you guys this and get your opinions on it. Why would the team mislead the public about something like that? Instead of telling us exactly what's going on with Akello Witherspoon, they decided to try to mislead the public. Do you guys think this is something that teams do? Do you think that maybe where we're getting our information from is a little bit wrong? What are your thoughts on that? Either one of you guys can go and take off with that one.
Well, I don't think it's misleading because they reported it was a knee, and then they reported that it was the glute. So it could have been two separate things. His knee was still messed up yesterday from falling or banging it on whoever the defender it was that he did, and then maybe something with his glute today. I don't think the team is really hiding anything. I think it's just a matter of them trying to trickle down to see exactly what it is. And you know, so I don't think it's. I know you love the conspiracy part of it, so I know that that's something that you love to do, but I don't think that's exactly what it is this time. And I'm not going to say that you're wrong or you're right, because sometimes you're right. So, yeah, I don't think it's anything to be worried about though, like that.
Tony, man, I mean, I hear you, and I agree with that, Nick. But Tony, I want to ask you, man, when would he have time to hurt his butt? What would he have been doing that out of nowhere? He bangs his knee yesterday. We hear it, right? And then all of a sudden, his butt hurts, and we got to take him out of practice. And he did not return. What could he have possibly done to his butt to miss that kind of time?
And the only real thing is he might have fell on his ass hard. That's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to believe as far as this. I'm hoping it's nothing serious. You know, hiding something. I really hope they would come out and be honest. But you don't know. You had that inside that building, inside those walls. You know,
Well,
in series,
you know what?
he has been playing well.
You know what else it could be? It could be that his knee was just not feeling right and he was compensating. And when I think of glutes, I do think of like upper hamstring, buttocks area, obviously, but it could have been compensation that he just tweaked something and got some tightness or soreness in it, and they just want to play that it's right, play it right.
All right. It's possible. It's possible. You guys know me, man. I got, like Nick said, I'm the conspiracy theory guy, man. I'm always all over the place with it all. I said, I know my man, Nick. Nick, this is awesome. I'm sorry. I see that you're in here as admin also, so you can do all the. Let's go. All right, man.
You're like a kid in the candy store.
I am, man. I love this. I love these new features and everything, man. I'm never going to stop loving it either. So this is great. Yeah, so we hope that Ahkello Witherspoon is okay. I am not trying to hear it with the whole, oh man, it was a player getting injured. I want a healthy competition. That's what I'm really looking for. With the offensive line in particular, last year we didn't have a healthy competition for the right guard. Garnett was injured the whole time. When he finally came back, he looked good, but then he was injured again, so he couldn't start. Right? That's not considered to me a healthy competition. I want a healthy competition at the corner position. I want a healthy competition at the guard or anywhere that there's a camp battle. We have been debating all day, all week in the group chat, on this show, and even on Twitter about the wide receivers that are going to be kept. People are throwing hate for Matthews. We were talking 2 weeks ago, Matthews is probably going to make this team, right? All of a sudden, we're not thinking that way. My hate, I'm gonna own up, right? This is what people know me as. My hate for Trent Taylor has suddenly turned around. I'm like, yo, Trent's out there killing it. Let's go, Trent. You know what I mean? Even Nick has changed his tune on guys like Richie James and even Kendrick Bourne a little bit, right? These are healthy conversations. These are healthy competitions for camp battles, for positions on this 53-man roster. I want that for Joshua Garnett and Mike Person. I want that for Ahkello Witherspoon and Jason Verrett. What I don't want is someone winning a position by default and lack of practices, like because of some bonehead injury, or not even saying bonehead, but just some crazy injury, man. I want us to come out here, really compete, really earn that spot, and make these coaches' jobs tough. We're not keeping guys because we think he could be something, and so we're gonna put him here. No, come out here. What they're doing with the safety position right now, other than Jimmy Ward being injured, I love it. But we remember just 2 seasons ago when Jimmy Ward didn't take a single rep all preseason, all of training camp, and then week 1 when he was healthy, they put him right in there. It pissed me off. It pissed me off so much. He didn't earn it. He didn't earn a single rep, and they put him right in there the day he was healthy. That's crap. That is crap, man. I don't want to see that happening here. Am I wrong? Am I off? You guys disagree? You think they should just, let it all go?
I mean, dude, the competition is really good this year. Like, it's just, I mean, for the most part, nobody really knows who's going to make this team, especially at the receivers position. And I listened to Kendrick Bourne's presser when I was on the way home, and he's just like, the competition in here and what we're held to. He said, one thing stood out to me, since we're talking about receivers. One thing stood out to me that he said was, last year they kind of let things slide on tape. Well, this year, Wes Welker and Miles Austin don't let anything slide. They're on your ass about every little thing in technique-wise or whatever it is. And if you come up with a bust, you're going to hear it. And it's holding these guys accountable, which wasn't happening last year, supposedly, from what Kendrick Bourne said. So just that change in itself is going to make these receivers better. You're not going to skip over things at tape and say, oh, well, that's okay. We can fix that later or whatever, and not really dig into it and talk about it, because that is what's going to make these guys great. And that is what's going to boost the competition in that room. And you heard Kendrick Bourne say, I have to come out here. We all have to come out here every day like we have something to lose. There's nobody safe. And that's basically what he was saying. So I kind of respect him for that. Like, to come out and say that. And the other part of the coaches physically doing their job in every aspect.
Yeah, Tony, man, what about you, man? Your thoughts on all of this, man?
I agree 100%. You guys hit it right on the head. I more to say is drop the mic. You guys hit it right on the head.
Ding, ding.
Yeah, man. So with Verrett getting some reps out there, we did hear a good play. He had a PBU from a throw from Jimmy Garoppolo, who I heard was on fire today. We'll get to the quarterbacks soon, but we heard that Jimmy Garoppolo was on fire today, and it was a pass to Marquise Goodwin, one of the guys with faster feet, and gets in and out of breaks, and you got to respect the speed and everything. And Jason Verrett was able to break that up. All right, Tony, what does that tell you in your mind? This is a guy who is coming back and needs some confidence right here. You're going up against Marquise Goodwin, and this isn't just some throw from C.J. Beathard either. This was, from all intents and purposes, Jimmy Garoppolo was on fire these last 2 days in camp, and it seems like he was throwing the ball right where the receivers could get it, and perfect windows and spots and things like that. And then you hear Jason Verrett, who got to step in for Akello on the fastest guy on the team, boom, breaks up the pass, no go, no fly zone, baby. How does that make you feel, Tony, when you hear things like that?
Makes you feel great as a fan. As we all listen, Goodwin's got great straightaway speed. He's quick off in and out of his breaks, but I mean, that's huge. It's a huge confidence because if you think about it, the type of injury that he's coming off of, and the previous injuries he sustained, he got with the Chargers. Finally, I mean, I don't have no wood here, so I'll knock on my head. Let's hope he stays healthy, and let's hope he continues. Because listen, 1 year, 3.9. Okay, and you want to talk about in who has the mentality. If he gets a chip on his shoulder and he gets his confidence back, he's a very good corner.
Yeah, man. Nick, man, you hear the reports, man. Yeah, like, come on, Jason Verrett. Is this
You know what this tells me? Depth. It doesn't matter if one or the other corner goes down, we have depth. And this isn't saying I give a shit who starts on the corner, because Akello seems to be coming a long way. Jason Verrett obviously has come a long way with his injury. But to be able to stay right with Marquise Goodwin and even on a comeback, so you're playing his speed and still be able to get in front of him and pass up, break a pass up. To me, it's like I said, it's one word. It's depth, and it's something good that we haven't had at that corner or milestone position on the team in a while. So to have that depth there is really, really exciting. Doesn't matter who the two guys are that are starting. We know there's a third in the background that is playing well on the outside, and if something happens, we have that depth there. It's not a Greg Maben coming in and getting torched, going down the field to lose the game against Green Bay. It's just, to me, it's depth, and that's the most important thing right there, and I'm excited about it, man.
Hell yeah.
Especially with facing versus Arizona. Especially versus Arizona. He's going to come out 4 wide and spread everybody out. So you need, I'm going to say this, God forbid something's wrong with Akello. They have to make a move at corner and add another body to this roster.
Oof. I don't want to go there. No, I don't want to go there. Let's man. Yeah, you're right though. You're absolutely right. If this is something long term with his knee or his leg or whatever this injury is, yeah, we're gonna have to do something, because I'm not sure who is behind them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be weird if they can't do anything else. I'm not sure anyone else is starting caliber on the outside in particular. You know what I mean? We got a couple of guys who can do it on the inside. I'm not sure about outside guys, so it's something that we're definitely gonna have to keep an eye on. Continuing with the trend of what we had going on here. Let's switch it up a little bit. We were talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's talk about his day. It says here he had some good throws, a lot of tight window throws. He was killing it over the middle today. He was killing it in that 10 to 15 yard area. There was a play in particular where he squeezed a tight window pass between both safeties. The safeties at the time were Jaquiski Tart and Tavares Moore. Check out Moore getting reps with the ones, right? They said Tart almost intercepted it. Almost, but it was such a good throw that Kendrick Bourne was able to bring it in And, Kendrick Bourne also went on and did his things, including a red zone touchdown today. So he had a couple of big catches today, had a touchdown today, and also had this tight window throw that he brought in between two of the bigger safeties on the team. Guys, this is, we go back and forth, and I know if you guys watched the video from 2 days ago with Dre on, and he's got all this passion for Kendrick Bourne, and I've been a supporter of it, and Nick has been, like I said, Nick has been coming around on it, man. It's getting kind of hard to ignore these guys anymore. You know what I mean? It was easy for me to say, oh yeah, I don't like Trent Taylor because he's short and he's slow. Boom, he shows me, all right, I'm not taller, but I'm faster. You know what I mean? I'm making bigger plays down the field, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Here comes Kendrick Bourne, man. He's having a hell of a couple of days here in camp, and Jimmy finding his groove. Now, we talked about this before when Tony wasn't here, but is Jimmy Garoppolo firing like this because there's no Buckner and Ford? This is 2 days in a row. This is the same 2 days without those guys. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on it? And then also, give me some thoughts on these young and upcoming guys like Kendrick Bourne and Richie James also.
I think Jimmy Garoppolo, Ford and Buckner weren't there today. I think his last season with his ACL injury, he rehabbed it to get himself back. He spent X amount of time with Mike Shanahan. He's got a grasp on his offense. He knows this offense. After the OTAs and the mini camps, he went to go work out with a quarterback guru in Tom House, who specializes with mechanics and gets quarterbacks back to their basic fundamentals and help them fundamentals and footwork and stuff like that. And Mike, I spoke about this to you. We spoke about this earlier. His footwork, he stepped in, he threw the ball. The ball was, he's got touch now. He throws dimes now. And he's hitting on the deep ball now. So now everything he worked with between Shanahan, Tom House's rehabilitation, it's all coming together now. He's quarterback that we acquired for a second-round pick and extended it to a long-term deal. And hopefully he's going to be our franchise quarterback.
I totally agree with you, Tony. I think it's a matter of everything. You know what I mean? It's from not really being pushed into this offense because he really wasn't pushed, but he didn't know the whole thing, so he had to start when CJ wasn't. He actually won some games, so they kept him there. Then going into the next year, he had that offseason with a full playbook. But he even said himself that he didn't really understand the concepts of the whole thing. It was kind of just, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do that, do that, do that. I think working with Mike Shanahan this year, being able to sit down with Kyle Shanahan, watching a lot of tape, seeing things that he was doing wrong, whether it be footwork or things like that, I think it's just kind of all coming together. And let's just pray that he stays healthy, and let's just pray that what we're seeing right now, I was one of the big ones that saying Jimmy Garoppolo didn't have a really good deep ball. Well, he's thrown 2 really good deep balls in practice that have, I know it's practice, and I know one of them was in a non-padded practice, but still, you still see the arm strength, and that's what I'm talking about with the arm strength. You still see him taking that chance downfield. Now, did we really not see it before because it just wasn't really called and didn't get the right coverages? Yes and no, because there were times that he's overthrown people. Now it looks like he has been on the money. The Dante Pettis ball that he dropped was right over the shoulder. Where he could only get it, went right through his arms. The Richie James ball went right over his shoulder, was right in the money with a dime without him having to stop running. Just keep going. And that's what you need out of your quarterback. So I think it's kind of just all coming together for him.
Absolutely, man. This is turning into a really, really good offseason for us, man. I hope we carry this momentum into the joint practices that'll be coming up soon next week and all. I'm looking forward to it so much, man. So let's keep the talks going here. There's some questions about. There was a question here someone asked. I lost it. It said, "Do you think we keep 3 quarterbacks this year?" I have been hearing a lot more negative about Yeah, there you go. NBN Chan. What's NBN stand for?
I don't know. A lot of people getting that NBN in their name, man. Loving it. Loving it. NBN Pineapple, NBN Chan.
Yeah.
Rep. Look at y'all.
Let's go.
Man love, man support. Love y'all.
I've been hearing more negative than positive about CJ Beathard, but then there are times where Beathard has his moments and Mullins has a down day. So I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Are we keeping 3 quarterbacks this year? I mean, if I had to take a guess at it, I don't want us to, but I don't know. I don't know if this team is ready to just give up on CJ Beathard. I feel that if they had to choose between the two, or if they were forced to choose between the two, I think that this, from what we saw last year, and even from what we've been hearing from this training camp, Mullins should be QB2. This is my opinion. But I've said all along.
Wait, say that again.
Based off of what we saw last year and based off of what we've been hearing from camp so far this year, I think Mullins should be QB2.
No, I just liked it. So that's why I just wanted you to just repeat it. That's all. I just I'm a Nick Mullins fan. So I just wanted you to say it one more time.
Get out of here, man. Yeah, no, I do. I think Mullins should be QB2 based on what we've seen and what we've heard so far. Again, I just don't know that they're ready to give up on CJ Beathard. When Shanahan speaks about him, he's still doing it in such a glowing way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I mean,
I think we've thrown 4 interceptions this camp, and I think 3 of them came from Beathard. I think 3 of them came from Beathard. So, man, it's going to be hard because you guys know, everybody that watches this show know that I'm very crucial when it comes to Kyle Shanahan and making a decision, as in CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins, because I didn't think Nick Mullins or CJ Beathard should be battling for this number 2 spot. I thought it should have been just Nick Mullins should have had it from the start, and it's for CJ to take. And I think that's how competition should have started. Nick Mullins proved himself last year in certain games. There were some, he had some issues, but his arm looks a lot stronger this year. His footwork looks really good. His going through his progressions looks really good. So I'm excited to see what happens there. So Callie and Jason Long says Beathard doesn't qualify as a quarterback. I mean, look, it is what it is, man. Tony, what are your thoughts on the whole thing?
I think that if Kyle's not 100% sure who his number 2 is, I think he'll take. My opinion, I think it's leaning towards not CJ, but Nick Mullins. I think he's leaning to Nick Mullins because the way Nick Mullins performed last year. But like Mike said, it's a back and forth competition in training camp so far, and no one's really taken that step forward. So basically, what's going on is Nick Mullins will have the better season on that day. But today, CJ Beathard was good, and Nick Mullins wasn't good. So no one is really separating and consistently. In gun to my head, I'd say Mullins because he performed on Sundays, where CJ struggled. He lost to Arizona at home. He gave up. He fell apart. And then he just lost it. I don't know what happened. But if one separates himself and one steps up consistently, one. If not, I think he's taking 2 until that one steps up, and then he'll drop him in midseason and try to get them back on a practice squad, which I don't get on a practice squad because of actually.
Yeah,
no, I think he might.
I think they both have started 8 games. I don't think you can do practice squad after that point. I'm not sure. The practice squad rules are really weird, so I don't want to pretend like I know and I don't know. Still Gold has a very interesting comment. He says, I believe they need trade value for CJ. They need him to show potential, right? And I was thinking about last year. I'm really curious to what game, Tony, you tell me here really quick. What game do you think CJ performed the best in since he's been a Niner? We know he got that win against the Giants. That's his only win as a starter.
Hands down,
He
Green
had an
Bay.
80-yard bomb. The Green Bay
Hands
game,
down,
right?
the
That's the
Green
one I
Bay.
was thinking
Hands
of.
down. Absolutely. He came out smoking. They jumped out to a 14-7 lead. What happened was they went down the field, and then on defense, when Green Bay got the ball and Scanlon scored it in 20 seconds on 2 passes from Aaron Rodgers. But hands down, the second best game I would say would be with the Charger game.
Okay. All right. So still 2 losses, though, but those are his best games. His best efforts still weren't quite enough to get the W. The Chargers game was a good one. You think the Chargers game was better than the Giants game?
Yes, as far as production from the quarterback position and scoring points. Yes. Because what did we score versus the Giants? It was a tight game, wasn't it? Or did
Well,
Yeah.
it was 29-27 for the Chargers game.
And what was the Chargers
Nick?
game?
The Chargers were 29-27.
And what about the Giant?
I don't remember.
I'm pulling it up.
I think
now.
that was
it seems like we played the Giants.
It was a tight game.
It says 27-23. Oh no, that was last year. Hold on, my bad. That was the one the Giants won. 2017, it was 31-21. We put up 14 in the fourth quarter there. So that was 21 for the Giants, 31 for us that game. So, I mean, he even in that game though, Mullins' stats were just 288 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. You know what I mean? So it's about what you're more comfortable with. I'm not kidding, man. And this is not to try to look. This is what I want to happen. I want both these guys to come out and be like, "Yo, wow, we got 2 good backup quarterbacks here." That's what I would like to see. I would like to see CJ progress mentally, and I would like to see Mullins progress physically. And Nick alluded to it. I saw some big throws from Mullins this offseason already. I saw a pass that went downfield, and I had to run back the little video I was watching and pause it to see what number was on the front of the jersey. And I was like, damn, Mullins got it like that this year. It was nice velocity, a nice tight spiral and everything. You know what I mean? It looked really good. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, damn, that was Nick Mullins. Where did Mullins get that from? So, CJ's got the arm. He's got the toughness. He's got the legs, but he doesn't have it upstairs. And Mullins just has a faster processor. You know what I mean? He's got that AMD A12 chip. He's got that Pentium, whatever it is. His processor is nice. And it's just not there for Beathard, man. It's not there for him yet. I don't think he's up yet. I wouldn't bring him in. We can't see him yet. Yeah, let's wait till he gets his camera up. But yeah, so Nick, man, we're hoping that we can get trade bait. I mean, what do we need to see in order for Mullins or Beathard to get traded? And now all right, here's the fun exercise. We all want what's best for the team, right? Mullins is the proven IQ guy. Let's say Mullins comes out and he's showing better physical traits. Now all of a sudden his footwork looks good. He's running. He's throwing the ball down the field. He's slinging it across the middle, intermediate. He's killing it, right? He looks really good. And then CJ Beathard suddenly gets it mentally. He's got the deep ball also. He can run and he's tough. And all of a sudden both of these guys look good, right? If they both look good, I think it's fair to say Nick Mullins will warrant better trade value. Okay? So when I say better, let's say that someone offers us a 6th for Beathard and a 5th for Mullins. What trade are you making?
Well, it comes down to 2 things. This is Nick Mullins' last year on contract. We still have CJ Beathard locked up. So if you're going to keep Mullins, then you're going to have to pay Mullins as well. So Mullins, in the end, in the long run, you could probably get a better draft pick for Mullins because his contract is up as well, and they can do something with him. Or you're going to have to re-sign him anyway. So you're going to let him walk after the year. So it's going to come down to what the team really, really feels is the best move for the future of this team. I don't think that this quarterback position comes down to what's good for right now. I think it comes down to, should we sign Mullins? Should we keep Mullins here? If Mullins is going to be the guy, we have to get him a deal so he doesn't just walk and we let go of or trade CJ.
Tony, what do you think, man?
I agree. Honestly, I was going to say something. I think we have a little pipeline with the Denver Broncos, and especially with Scangarello going over there as the offensive coordinator. But what's kind of like deferring me from saying this is because they addressed it and they took Drew Lock and then they signed another guy, an undrafted free agent, to that roster. But I wouldn't be surprised if this team makes a decision and it's set in stone, and I'm surprised if Denver calls for one of the guys that we're not going to keep on the roster, whether it's Beathard or it's Mullins, just because they know the scheme, they know the system, and they're ready to work with the Joe Flacco or even the Drew Lock, whoever it may be that's starting there. They can work with them, help transit. I mean, like I said, if I had to choose one, I think definitely try to unload Beathard. Because,
all right,
I'll tell you what, Beathard shit the bed at home versus Arizona. He just shit the bed.
Wait, did he play both of those games against Arizona? Because we didn't win either one of them, and both of them were so attainable. Both of them were.
He played both and played horrible in both. He didn't play in the away game?
No, I think Mullins was playing the away game. I think.
Oh, I got to look this up.
Yeah, I think it was both of them because Beathard threw interceptions. The one game we were getting destroyed, and then we were going to win, and I think Beathard threw an interception for us to lose the game and then they went to the last play of the game was obviously Larry Fitzgerald.
It was Beathard for both of them. The second game, he was 14 of 28 for 190. In the first game, he was 34 of 54, 349 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. We had no business losing to the Cardinals twice last year. Nick, you brought up a good comment in here. Nothing is what it seems sometimes. In camp, the defense is more aware of the offense's routes and tendencies. Preseason will be the tale of the tape. 2 things here, which is really, really good points. One, Kyle Shanahan was recently on KNBR, I think it was. I was listening to him on, and he was talking about how scripted all of the plays are. The defense knows what plays the offense are doing. He was talking about red zone, and the offense knows what play the defense is doing. So they're trying to beat each other. Basically, your guy against my guy at this point. We know exactly what you're doing, who's going to be more physical, who's going to be stronger, and all that. And I didn't think that's what they were doing in this section. I thought you would think that the defense would say, all right, this is what they're running out as far as personnel, and let's try to match it up here. But Kyle Shanahan said that, that's what they're doing. So what are your guys' thoughts on that? And do you think that we should hold back on all judgments and wait to see what we see in preseason?
Well, personally, I mean, you know how I've been. I used to be the hype train with practices. I need to see this stuff. And I told this the other night to you guys that while I'm really excited about what is going on right now, I still want to see it against another team, basically game planning, see the coaches, the way that they react to different plays, the way that they change things up and things like that. So the preseason week 3 game is when I want to see the starting offense and see how they do, and the starting defense, because they're going to play the most. You're going to get a better look at them than 4 plays. Sometimes it takes, longer to get that gel going than the first series. So to me, while I'm hyped, I will be more hyped come week 3 of the preseason as I see how we are progressing.
Tony's call.
I agree. I think week 3 is going to be your tell-all. I don't think week 1 – I mean, listen, I'm going to watch it because I'm a diehard. I'm sure you guys are too. to see like who we have as number 2s, number 3s going forward. Who's going to fill the back end of this roster? But I honestly feel like week 3 is it. I see Jimmy the whole first half, but that is going to be the game. You're going to see your starters come out, and I hate to burst all your guys' bubbles, and I think Coleman's going to be the first back. Forward to see week 3 and to see how they come out and what groupings and formations and stuff like that. Back and wide receiver. I'm just really excited. I can't wait for the first damn game, man. I really can't.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't think Coleman's going to be the first back, but we'll get to that in a second. That's something else on my little itinerary for us to discuss here. There's a good question here from Quest for Six. He says, Mike, Tony, Nick, who do you guys think gets cut? Bourne, Matthews, James, or Taylor, if you had to choose right now? And who do you think Kyle gets rid of? Who do you think Kyle cuts? This is a question here. I've already gone on record. I think Matthews is the odd man out here. I'm not gonna beat around the bush with this one. I don't think Matthews is gonna make it. We've seen a lot of positive from Bourne, Taylor, and James. Matthews is the one guy that we haven't really heard snot about, and he's supposed to be the bigger guy. I got excited when we first got him here because right away it was Jimmy Garoppolo saying, "Wow, he's got a big catch radius." I threw a pass to him. I thought I was going to miss him, and the next thing I know, he reels it in, and I was like, "Damn, this guy's already got rapport with Jimmy. That's good. That's good." Haven't heard anything about him since then, so I'm going to stick with him as the odd man out here. And you guys got to remember that when I say this, I'm keeping 7 guys. All right, I'm keeping 7. I think everyone else is keeping 6 wide receivers, but I only need to get rid of one of these guys to make my 7-guy roster here. So I've also said on record, I think Marquise Goodwin could get traded. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm going to leave that there and pass it over to you guys.
Also, Jordan Matthews dropped a touchdown today. 4-yard touchdown from Nick Mullins.
What? He's got the drops? No.
Yo. But, man, it's. I mean, we haven't heard much about Matthews, so to me, it's probably Matthews right now. The other ones are still up in the air, man. Richie James is surprising the hell out of me. Like, really surprising the hell out of me. I mean, this kid is coming to ball this year. Like,
you see the videos with his footwork from today, with the little ladder thing that they were doing on the ground?
Other than him getting hit in the face mask and not paying attention, like, dude, you're like 6th in line. You know what they're doing. But you're so concentrated on your feet that you just let the ball back. And then he looks at the coach like, what the fuck was that? Like, just see him look back like,
what you hit me for?
What'd you throw the ball in my face for? But no, I mean, I'm intrigued by what I've saw from Bourne, but I'm impressed by what I've been seeing from James. Because, man, I did not think James was going to come out looking like he is this year. I mean, his footwork looks really good. His routes look really good. His speed looks really good. Catching the football looks really good. Anything thrown to him, he's been catching. So, man, Matthews would be the odd man out right now for me going from camp. Obviously, it's too early to tell because you don't see, camp is mainly camp. And then preseason is where you start to diagnose your – diagnose? Had a little squeak there. Diagnose your 53-man roster. So, right now I think Matthews is probably the odd man out of those and keeping 6. The next ones would be James and Bourne. It's really close for me. I've come a long way on Bourne so far, and I'm giving him I'm intrigued to see what he can do. But James has really, really impressed me off the charts right now.
I agree. I'm a bit of a Matthews fan. Because I think he can play both inside and outside. But I agree with you, Mike. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Goodwin, if they trade him. because I think we have too much of the same receiver.
Yeah, I get that, man. And that's what Goodwin, the only thing that's really separating him from everybody else is that deep, that speed, that 0 to 60 is crazy. And I know it's not literally 60, it's like 0 to 21, but he's got it, man. He's got that long, deep speed, and people are afraid of that. But Kyle Shanahan was talking about that today in the episode that I was listening to, and he said, believe it or not, Richie James is our second fastest wide receiver, and then right behind him is Deebo Samuel. And he even said that they have Deebo Samuel playing, what was it, the Z receiver, which is where they had, the X. I'm sorry, they have Deebo Samuel playing the X receiver, which is exactly where they had Marquise Goodwin playing, and so they're literally grooming him to take over that spot. So if that's the case, Marquise Goodwin could be on the trade block. So, it's something to keep an eye on. I think we all agree, though. I mean, Tony said he likes Matthews. And to be clear, Tony, you're not alone with that. Nick and I both at the beginning were like, yeah, Matthews is probably going to make this roster. But the stories from camp, it's just not sounding good for him. We've had firsthand experience from a recap or recall, I should say, from Eric Crocker. He's come on the show himself and said that it just doesn't look good. The footwork is slow and it's not looking good. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Hey, really quick, man, guys. I don't know what happened to Dylan. We couldn't get his camera to work. I got this poured up for him. It is Dylan's birthday officially. This is a happy birthdays. Cheers to Dylan. I had this all ready for him. I thought he was going to jump in here. I was going to put his name up there and everything. We're going to do it anyway. Happy birthday to one of NB Niners' own, Dylan Frazier. You guys can see the tag there. It is Dylan Frazier 98 on Twitter. Cheers. Salute. Respect. All that good stuff.
My bad.
Mine is crown apple and cranberry, just so people know. It is a drink. It's not anything else.
Yeah, it's all good. But I wanted to show my guy some love, man. And, Dylan's been jumping on here with us lately. I just don't know. Oh, there he is. He's in the group chat, at least. He couldn't get his phone to work on video. But happy birthday to Dylan. And you see the people in the show showing love to him. Matt's watching. Hey, what's up, Matt? You know what I mean? Herka Durka. Luke. You know what I mean? So the guys are showing some love to Dylan. I wanted to stop and take a second to do that really quick. All right. Let's see here. We had another one. Where did it go? There was another comment. Go ahead, Nick.
No, I was just trying to get my camera to focus.
Oh, I'm like, he's sending me a signal over there. I was like, all right. Sorry about that, buddy. But yeah, man. So you guys make anything of that? If you had to think about who our fastest wide receivers were, would you think Richie James would be the second fastest guy?
Yeah, I mean he's pretty quick. He's a 4.4 guy. I believe he's a 4.4 guy, 4.49, something like that. So I mean he's not slow. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, man. And I wouldn't have thought he was that fast if it weren't for me seeing his. He was supposed to be in that 40 yards for gold thing that Marquise Goodwin ended up winning. He was on the ticket for that. So he was supposed to be out there and competing. But he didn't make it. We talked about Bourne earlier. Eric, I see the comment in the room. We talked about Bourne already. He had a good day today, a couple of touchdowns, some contested catches and things like that. It went really well for him. So that's that. I do have some more things to get to here, though, really quick. See, we were talking about quarterbacks and wide receivers. I know what I wanted to go to. Running backs. Tony said that he thinks Coleman is going to be the guy. We got to talk about this. We absolutely have to talk about this. I don't see it. I could be way off here. I could be wrong. I don't see it. I don't see him beating out. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying, and I'll collab.
I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't see him beating out guys like Bourne. God damn it, Bourne. I don't see him beating out guys like Breida. And then we know about McKinnon's salary. We know about how Shanahan feels about McKinnon already. In my opinion, RB1 right now is Matt Breida. RB2 is McKinnon. And RB3 is going to be Coleman. That's how I have my little depth chart, so to speak, right now. All these guys are going to get plenty of snaps and opportunities, but RB1, I think if there's 30 carries to go around in the game, I don't think that it's going to be 10, 10, and 10. I think it's going to be 15, 8, and 12, or 15, 15, 10, and 5. You know what I mean? I think that's how they break it down. And I think Breida gets the majority of those carries. He's proven himself more than any of these guys. And so that's got to be the way. That's the way I see it right now. I just don't see how Coleman could possibly start over any of these other guys. I just don't see it. I think 49er fans are like, we have the stigma in our heads that our talent, our homegrown talent, our players just aren't good enough. It's a stigma. It is legitimately a thing in our own heads. We get in our own way where we think the guy that we drafted is good. We like him, but that free agent that we just picked up is better. Why? How? Coleman never averaged yards per carry that Breida averaged. Never. Not even when he was with him with Shanahan in Atlanta. He never had the kind of production on a per touch basis. Catches, he didn't average that in yards per reception. He didn't average it in yards per carry. And he's not even a big power guy to get in the end zone. You guys would look up the numbers, you'd be really disappointed or surprised at Coleman's numbers. I just don't think he's that guy. So I'm going to stop and let you guys talk on it. Who do you guys think is going to be the RB1? We'll see, though. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You know how I've been all year. I don't think there's going to be any specific RB1. And I don't take those numbers ones very, very in depth, I guess you could say. Because to me, a number one is just a guy who starts the first play of the game. So will Coleman go out first play of the game? Who knows? It could be Coleman. It could be Breida. It could be McKinnon. I think by year's end, the run portion of this will be Matt Breida. And this is I agree with Herka Durka right here in saying Breida will play more by year's end. And I believe that. I don't think he's going to be the third back. You've heard it. Everybody thinks that Coleman is the number one guy right now because he's getting a lot of one snaps. Well, Breida's getting a lot of one snaps as well. And it's neck to neck. You hear from these reporters and media people that are out there saying, you know, Breida breaks for 40-yard here. Tevin Coleman breaks for one here. I think it kind of just comes down to game planning and who they're going up against and what the matchups are for the entire year. I really don't think there's just going to be one guy. Now, can Coleman be a running back one? I mean, yeah, he can. I mean, he definitely can. But why are you gonna take? And I understand you want to build your team, but Matt Breida played very well last year, other than the injuries. And if he can stay healthy, I think he should be that number one back right now, with Jerick McKinnon and Tevin Coleman sprinkled in. But I think it's going to go – I really think all three of them are going to be sprinkled in. And you may see one 20 times a game, and you may see him the next week at 2 times a game. It really just depends on the matchup, the team we're playing, what we're running, and from there on out.
I agree. I think you made good points. I just think personally, I think they're going to go with Coleman one. I mean, I could see Breida taking over down the line, but I just think, you know, it's just not, you know, the guy's explosive as hell. He's a one-cut runner. I mean, you saw his highlights in Atlanta without even Shanahan there when he was playing under Sarkisian. He's explosive. He's an explosive runner. Now, my question, I asked this, and I would like to ask the chat and everyone, get everyone's answer on this. Kyle had the opportunity to sign, not this season, the last season, Jerick McKinnon or Tevin Coleman. Who do you think he would sign? as an unrestricted free agent? That's what I want to know. Because I can tell you, I think he would definitely go with Coleman. Now, especially, he's supposed to be off the PUP list. He's not. He had a setback, even though it's not like severe or like it's still concerning. This is a running back. There's a lot of stress on the knees, on the tendons, and that's why I think they brought Coleman in, because they're not 100% sure be able to come back with the ability to with that speed that he showed in Minnesota. But I like Reed, and I just think we honestly have a logjam at the running back position because all these guys are the same type of players. All of them. They're all in the same height weight ratio. Could run out, could catch. I think what's his name is a better pass blocker, Coleman, and blitz pickup and pass pro stuff like that. But I just wanted to chat who if they had a choice to take either McKinnon or Coleman as a free agent last season, who do they think that Kyle will go for? I can't see this. You can just tell me, Mike or Nick.
You're saying if last year played out without injury, who would have been the starter, McKinnon or Breida? Is that what
If
you're
it was
saying?
free agency,
No, he's asking.
When they signed Jerick McKinnon, if Tavon Coleman was available, or Coleman.
Oh, okay. Would he have taken McKinnon or Coleman if both of them were available at the same time? We'll see what the chat says. You and I think we talked about this already. I still think he would have taken McKinnon because McKinnon is the better pass catcher. I think that's what Shanahan was looking for at that. That's what Shanahan was looking for at the time. My freaking thing is dying. Hold on a second. I gotta fix this.
I mean, all right, so I'll answer it, but I think it would have been McKinnon as well, because I think McKinnon is like Mike said, that better pass catcher. And I broke this down the other night, Tony, and I said I think Breida is more of the pure running style running back. I think Tevin Coleman is the best blocker out of all three, and I think McKinnon is the best catcher out of all three. So to me, I mean, I think they have some similarities, but I think they're different in more aspects than we give them credit for. What's the size of Tevin Coleman? I thought he was like 6 foot something, 6.
He's 6'1", 210.
210, 212.
Yeah, he's 6'1". So the other guys are like 5'9".
Someone said something in the chat about we wanted Coleman last year and they placed a second round 10. That's not true. That's not true at all. He was under contract for 4 years, and last year it was his third year. They didn't place the second round. I don't know who said that. I saw it in the chat earlier, but that's just completely false.
He was a restricted free agent last year.
Restricted free agent, yeah, but he was still under contract with him. Like we couldn't.
No, that's why they put a second round tender on him. That's why nobody signed him.
He's a restricted free agent.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
if they had the opportunity. Would.
All right, Tony switched up his camera here. Let me try something here really quick. He switched up his camera on us, Nick.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I got a counter for every move in the barrel, baby. My apologies, then. My apologies, guys.
So somebody says, how the heck is McKinnon a better pass catcher? McKinnon was one of the better pass catching running backs in the league. And I could probably look it up from when they were probably had about the same role between Minnesota and Atlanta.
Well, I can tell you this right now. I have it all pulled up, speaking of which. So yards per reception, and this is throughout their entire career, Tevin Coleman has 11 yards per reception. And McKinnon, I spelled his name wrong on that search, McKinnon's yards per reception are at 6.9 yards per reception. It was 8.3, 5.9, 8.2, and 5.0. That's going backwards from 2017 up to 2014. If I go back to Tevin Coleman's yards per reception, receiving. Hold on, let me make sure I looked at that right. Yeah, see, it's the numbers are a little skewed because of how. Let me see something really quick. 32, 27, 31, and 2. And if I go back to McKinnon, so the numbers are skewed because, but I mean, they are what they are. So I'm not going to sit here and try to make an excuse, but Coleman never caught more than 35 passes.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. McKinnon, right. That was McKinnon's thing.
Right, McKinnon has 51 catches, 43 catches, and so teams know if McKinnon's out there, he's probably going to catch the ball. They're stopping him from getting those big ones.
Right, and that's what I was trying to say. I don't care about yards per reception. I just think he's a better pass catching back out of the backfield. I mean, he was utilized in passing downs. That's just what his game was. Tevin Coleman would run the ball more than McKinnon would. So that's why I still think McKinnon is a better pass catcher than Tevin Coleman. Now, what they do with the ball in their hands afterwards, that's to be determined. But the physical ability to be able to catch the ball, and that's your game, I think McKinnon was more of a pass catching back than Tevin Coleman was.
Okay. Would you still pick Jet over Coleman after Breida showing his catching ability in the backfield like he has last year? Would you still pick Jet over Coleman? Listen, I'm not picking Jet over anybody because I haven't seen him do shit. That salary is the only reason I still have him here. I don't know if you guys remember at the beginning of last year, I was adamant that we need to choose between Breida and McKinnon, and we need to keep one and cut the other one. For roster spot's sake, it was that Breida was a poor man's version of Jerick McKinnon. That's what it was. They said that Breida, McKinnon was a better pass pro guy, that McKinnon was a better catcher out of the backfield, and all that was true until Breida went out there and didn't drop a single pass out of the backfield. Now McKinnon still has the edge on him as far as catching passes go. I mean, blocking goes. As far as blocking goes, that's still McKinnon's wheelhouse. Breida still has a lot of room to grow there, but pass catching, I think Breida showed that he's just as good, maybe even better now than McKinnon. And then running between the tackles and with the ball in his hands, Breida has shown that he's way better at McKinnon than that. I'm edging out. I'm taking Breida at this point in time over McKinnon, and I don't think that we need both. So you guys can respond to that, but that's just my thought on it. Tony, what do you think?
I think that to me, Matt Breida is one of my favorite running backs on this team. And I've been a Breida fan since day one. If anybody knows and watches this show, I've been a Breida fan. Me and Mike have gotten into it that, Breida can't be that short yardage back, or Breida can't run between tackles, or, things like that. And I've always been a big believer in Matt Breida. And then he comes out, and in the beginning of the year before his injury, he's putting up 8.8 yards per carry. The kid is a baller. And I think this year you're going to see more of Breida in the end because he's going to have that. He's going to have more explosion than everybody else. He's going to have that explosion because he's going to be healthy. If he can stay healthy with the other backs getting a lot of the brunt too, we're in good shape, man.
Yeah, I think that we're going to be fine no matter what. These are good problems to have, man. We're doing a lot of back and forth discussions and all that, but it is a really, really good problem to have. And then we're talking all this stuff, and we haven't even mentioned Mostert, right? And Kyle Shanahan is down a running back right now. What's his name is out?
Jeff Wilson Jr.
McKinnon's out, and Jeff Wilson is out. And what they're doing is they're giving the ball to Raheem Mostert. They're not even going out to get anybody else. He spoke on that also. He said, look, right now, we have 90 guys here that we are really, really having a hard time deciding between. And if we pick up one other person, we have to cut somebody. So we don't want to do that. We're going to he said hopefully someone's healthy enough to get back in here by the time this next preseason game comes. And if not, then we're gonna have to make a tough decision and let someone go. He said, but what's up?
Matt Barrows was saying there was another running back out there running the ball too, as well with Mostert, and I can't remember his name. He called him a bowling ball.
Yeah. That was if you give me like 12 seconds, I can tell you who it was.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just couldn't remember what his name was, and he was also running the football. So to me, that's kind of interesting to see.
Austin Walter.
That's it, Austin Walter. Yeah, Austin Walter.
So and he said Walter's. You're right. He called him a bowling ball type of guy. He's only 5'8". He said the prototypical type guy, 5'8", but 200 pounds, 200 plus pounds. He's just that physical presence that's out there running the ball hard and making his presence known. And we saw the same thing from Jeff Wilson when Wilson got his opportunity to touch. He was the physical guy that I was saying that the Niners needed all along, right? But then you look at the reports from today. This tweet is from Nick Wagner. He says, collision of the day came from running back Raheem Mostert, who got the better of safety Marcel Harris. Tony, you and I have talked about Marcel Harris being top 3 hitters in the secondary. You know what I mean? And it says that Raheem Mostert got the better of Marcel Harris on a run off the right side. Harris later came up, though, and rebounded with an interception thrown by Nick Mullins. But Raheem Mostert, we know about the speed of Raheem Mostert. I believe Shanahan said in the same presser or this interview that he was doing on KNBR that Raheem Mostert is the fastest running back on the roster. He has come flat out and said that. He knows that Raheem Mostert is the fastest running back on the roster. However, there's other guys that he has a preference to as far as running over the middle and things like that. So, those are the kind of things that we have to keep our eye out for, man. They have guys here. They don't want to cut anybody. They just want to save everyone that they have here and try to keep them upright, So Tony, we're on running backs here. I know you had to pop out and jump back in here. We're on running backs right now. The depth is good, and the team right now we're down McKinnon and we're down Jeff Wilson Jr. Kyle Shanahan said that he doesn't want to drop in or sign another running back to get through camp. Right now, if preseason were to be tomorrow, our running backs would be Breida, Coleman, Mostert, and this guy Walter. I'm not sure how many running backs usually go through preseason in the preseason game, especially week 1. You don't want your starter out there at all. So let's take who are you taking out of that mix if preseason were to be tomorrow? What running back or running backs, maybe you do too, aren't going to be out there running? They don't want the first string guys out there, the starters. So who are you putting out there? Who are you throwing to the wolves?
I think you would see the first string guys for maybe a couple plays in the first quarter, like maybe 2 series. That's it. Then it's gonna be a heavy dose of Mostert.
Well, that's what I was asking you because
it's gonna be heavy.
I'm sorry, Mostert is the special team guy, and we know that his position is solidified on the team. Breida, I feel like the same thing. And Coleman, we know that Coleman can come in here and play right away. So normally what the teams do, especially in the first preseason game, is you might get the opening drive from your starting lineup, and then you never see those guys again. With running backs, it's because it's a running back by committee type of thing. It's not necessarily the same way. But what running back are you using the least in week 1 if it were to be a game tomorrow?
Using the least.
Yeah, like as if they're the starter.
I think the top 2. I wouldn't put Breida or McKinnon long. Not McKinnon, Coleman, sorry. I wouldn't put them long at all. I would give the ball I would let Mostert run. I would let Walter run. I would let what's the kid that last year? 41.
Jeff Wilson Jr., but he's out. He's got the injury.
No, I'm saying when he comes back.
Right, but that's what
he's got a strained calf.
Yeah, so that's what Shanahan was saying, is that he doesn't expect him back for another week, maybe 2. He said he's got his fingers crossed that he can make it back for preseason 1. But if he can't, then we're in trouble. You know what I mean? So I'm asking.
No, you're just going to see that kid run. That's it.
You think they just run him all game? You think they run Walter all game?
Yeah.
He said he did.
They're not going to put Breida.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They're not going to put Breida out there. They're not going to put Breida or Coleman out there. No way in hell. You'll see first or second drive. That's it. Not in week 1. No.
And Shanahan went on the radio and said that he doesn't want to have to make any cuts right now. He said if they pick up another running back, no matter who it is, they have to cut somebody, and they don't want to do that right now. So, speaking of cutting somebody and signing somebody, have we talked about the running of the tight end situation?
Niles Paul's short tenure.
Yeah, they cut Paul, and they picked up a guy from the Chargers, I believe. He's 6'4", 240, 245, 250 pound tight end from Duke. He's undrafted free agent this year. Help me out with his name. I forgot it off the top of my head.
Shit. I can't remember either.
Helm or something.
Yeah, something Helm. Helm. Helm is his name.
He played with Daniel Jones at Duke. Wasn't their first target. I think there's a junior, now a senior this year, who was like the main tight end. He was more of a secondary tight end, but he made some big catches.
Daniel Helm.
Daniel Helm. And they're just adding to the competition. I guess Niles Paul didn't work off, or they saw something they didn't like. Maybe he got a little banged up, and they said, you know what, we're gonna move on. So
we didn't
Helm off waivers.
We forgot to discuss that today. We didn't do a breaking news video for it because it was a position for a position. But yeah, so tight end Niles Paul was here for all of 48 hours, 72 hours, something like that. And he was released for Daniel Helm. I think that it was about the speed and things like that. I think that Niles Paul's getting a little long in the tooth, and so they decided to go with Daniel Helm. If you follow me on Twitter, I just retweeted the tweet from the 49ers where they announced that. Nick, what we were discussing while you were away was the running back situation. Kyle Shanahan said that he's, Jeff Wilson Jr. is a week or two away from being able to return, and he's hoping that he can be back by the first preseason game. And if not, they're going to be faced with a tough decision. They have 90 men here that they don't want to let go of without fully evaluating. And if they have to pick up another running back to get through the preseason week 1, they're going to have to make a tough decision, tough cut. And so what I asked Tony was normally we use 3, maybe 4 running backs in a preseason game. Right now, the only healthy running backs on this roster are Matt Breida, Tevin Coleman, Raheem Mostert, and all 3 of those guys, for all intents and purposes, have a secure spot in this roster. And then Walter. So which one of those guys are you not playing? Are you just not going to play Breida and let Mostert and Coleman get out there? Are you going to sit Coleman and Breida and Mostert because you have plans for them in the long haul? Like how are you doing this? Or are you going to just cut somebody and pick up another running back? How would you handle that if Jeff Wilson Jr. can't make it back in time, Nick?
It's going to be interesting, man. And I can see Niners fans now if Breida's taking a lot of the snaps first game, because they're going to be like, oh, Tevin Coleman's a starter. Oh, Jerick McKinnon's a starter. Oh, this person's a starter. I really think we're going to see a lot of Tevin Coleman. I think we're going to see a lot of Breida, and I think we're going to see a lot of Alston. Because Alston, to me, if Jeff Wilson's not there, I think Alston and Jeff Wilson are battling for practice squad type thing, right? And Mostert, we might even see a lot of Mostert in preseason. So Mostert's got to get some play because he's got to hold on to the damn football. He fumbled again today in practice. Tevin Coleman's the same thing. He hasn't been fumbling a whole lot in his career. His rookie year, yes, but he fumbled, I think, once or twice in camp. So, dude, this is such a good problem to have. Like, it really, really is. Because if it's just such a good problem. It's the same as the receivers because you don't know who the hell's going to get snaps. Like, we as fans are going to read into this a ton, as in who gets these preseason snaps. I wouldn't go sign somebody because if you're planning on Jeff Wilson to come back 1 or 2 weeks, you probably get him back midweek before preseason 2. So you still see him. I think if Tevin Coleman starts week 1 and gets those 4 snaps and those 4 series or those 4 plays, then you see Breida, and then I think it's going to be Mostert and Austin finishing out the game. Like, that's just the way I think it'll work. You're on mute.
My B. I don't think you can risk any of those guys. Tevin Coleman.
Somebody's got to play.
Well, I was thinking about this, and my opinion was cut a tight end, right? Keep Ross Dwelly, keep Caden Smith, and you obviously keeping George Kittle. Cut whoever's behind either of those guys. Fucking move on from Selleck if you have to, right? This is my logic, and then sign another running back. But Tony said something that I thought about, and I think we've seen this before. Just let Austin Walters run the entire game. You can't risk Breida to a preseason game 1. You can't risk Coleman to a preseason game 1. And you can't risk your best gunner / punt returner. And he's decent when he plays running back if he holds onto the ball. You can't risk any of those guys.
I still think Mostert has a lot to prove, though, as a running back.
No, you're saying as a running back. Listen, I don't expect Mostert to get 50 carries this year.
Right, but that's why I think that he's going to be used a lot in the running back position because he still needs to learn back there in case something happens.
He's not getting 50 carries this year, no matter what. Even if something happens to 2 other running backs.
No, I'm not saying he's getting 50 carries, but this is where it goes down to how good is this Austin kid? How good is Jeff Wilson Jr.? How good is Raheem Mostert? Because they all play special teams. They've all been playing special teams. And I don't think it's fair to other people on his team that if we just keep a guy just for special teams, no matter what position he's at.
You can't say that's not fair. That's NFL, bro. That's what they do. They do it all the time. But
what I'm saying is you could, instead of keeping Mostert, if Mostert's not panning out to be what Kyle Shanahan wants him to be, you can keep that 7th receiver. So I think he needs to get that play time.
I think you're forgetting his contract. I think you're forgetting about how much money they just gave Raheem Mostert.
It's $3 million.
Yeah, it's a 3-year deal.
Over 3 years. No, it's not. It's $1 million a year. It's not a big deal.
No, the deal is a lot bigger than what you think it is. It's definitely
3 years, $3.5 million. It's not that big of a deal. The years were big, but the money wasn't. So, he's not getting paid starter money. He's getting paid to keep him here and see how he does and see what happens.
He's got a 3-year, $8.7 million deal, bro.
Okay, so that's
a lot more than $1 million a year, Nick. That's almost $3 million a year. They're not going to chance. He's their best special teams player. He is literally their best special teams player. That's why he got almost $3 million a year. I'm just telling you what the contract is. They're not going to risk him out there so he can carry the ball another 30 times this year. They're not going to do that. He broke his forearm carrying the ball. And when he's out there and he's carrying the ball and holding on to it, he's extremely effective. They already know what he can do if he holds on to the ball. What I'm saying is that contract that they gave him, they're not blowing that on a preseason game, or specifically a preseason game. I'm not saying they won't put him in there in the regular season if something goes down. You know what I mean? Like they still will put him out there. And I get what you're saying, that they have to see what he can do. But I think that they saw what he can do last year, especially in that Raiders game.
So let me ask you this. If they don't go out and sign somebody, who's getting the snaps throughout the preseason? You just said you don't want Breida running the ball. You just said you don't want Tevin Coleman running the ball. You don't want Jerick McKinnon running the ball. So who's running the preseason?
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I said that I think that I'm going to have.
But I'm asking you if they don't sign somebody, who is running?
Bro, let me finish my sentence. What I'm saying is
undrafted free agent.
Yeah, I said I'm going to agree with Tony and just let Austin Walters run the entire game. We've seen it before. We've seen Booby Dixon run from first quarter all the way through fourth quarter. We've seen it happen before. So I would let Austin Walters do it. I mean, especially for week 1, because you expect Wilson Jr. to be back by week 2. You expect that. And you also have your starters rotating more in week 2 anyway. It's literally just this first week is when it's going to get tough. And I say let Austin Walters go ahead and go out there and be that guy. To me, in my opinion, you can't risk Coleman out there, man. You just can't do it. I think the $3 million you were talking about, though, Nick, because I know you know the contracts and stuff like that. The $3 million you're talking about is all that he was guaranteed. He
lost audio. No. We lost audio. Can't hear you.
Mic check. Can you hear me now? We good?
Yeah.
Okay. I said I think you got the $3 million from his guaranteed money. His guaranteed was just $3 million. So I think that's what you were talking. I think that's where you got the $3 million from. I didn't think you were like just off base, but I knew that he was averaging more than $1 million a year for his contract. So that's why I was like, no, that's not right. Yeah, man. I do think that you can't risk him out there. You can't risk any of those top 3 guys. McKinnon needs to hurry. So this is the other thing I was going to ask you guys about. Let's pretend they were all healthy, right? McKinnon, Breida, Mostert, everyone's healthy, right? Who's playing in week 1 in preseason? It's still the same situation, ain't it?
I don't understand why you guys think Mostert's not touching the football in preseason. I really don't understand that. Like, you're not holding a guy back from touching the football because he plays special teams as a gunner. You're not doing it. I just don't understand it.
I'm saying that he's not getting the majority. He might go out there for a couple of series. He might go out there for 2 or 3 series.
I'm telling you, he'll be out there for at least a quarter and a half. I'm telling you.
No way.
He's a 4th-string running back on his team right now.
Nick, it's not about where he's lined up, man. I'm trying to tell you that his special teams value outweighs his running back value. That's what I'm trying to tell. Let's make a gentleman's bet. We'll see. I'm telling you, there's no way he's out there that much. No way. He might get it for a series or 2. He's not out there for 3 quarters, bro, or 2 quarters or a quarter and a half. It depends on touches. Like I said, 2 series, maybe. That's it. Tops.
All right. What do you want to bet?
It's a better brew.
All right.
I'm not even a beer drinker, but I'm not going to make you buy a shot of the shit I drink because that's just not right. So let's bet a brew. I'll get a Modelo Black.
So you said 2 series, so 8 carries.
I'm just saying 2 series tops. He's not going to be out there for a quarter and a half, like you said.
I just think that you guys are overvaluing Raheem Mostert right now.
That's fine. I think you're undervaluing him. I think you're undervaluing the contract this team gave him and how important he is to their special teams.
But
Tony, what do you think?
I don't understand. Like, you need running backs yet. Austin Walter's not going to go out there and play all 4 quarters. He may play a half, and another guy is going to play a half. And just by the depth chart, Mostert is that guy. Jeff Wilson's not there, so I don't understand how he's not that guy.
I'm telling you, bro. If we don't sign someone else, Austin's carrying the ball at least 3 quarters. I'm telling you. We saw what this team did on special teams as soon as Mostert went down. We saw the value of this guy. They're not going to chance that again. Not week 1. Not week 1. They're not going to do it. Tony, I want to get your thoughts on this, man. We're going back and forth. I know you touched on it already, but Nick is making some good points. I don't know if he's convinced you otherwise. So I want to know what your thought is.
Like I said, I don't think you're going to see. I mean, you might see Coleman and Breida maybe the first series. That's it. Maybe the second series, but after that, I think it's going to be Mostert through the first quarter, and then going to take over the rest of the game. Because you got to think about it. Let's be real. I don't think he's going to make this roster the undrafted free agent. I think we could all agree on that. So trying to give him an opportunity to show himself for other teams, market himself for other teams. If that don't happen, they stash him on the practice squad. But I say the first couple series, it'll be Breida, Coleman. After that, it's going to be Mostert for the rest of the first quarter, maybe into the second, and the rest is the kid. Until the other guy comes back from the calf injury. Then it'll be split up more. You might not even see the other two in the second game if he comes back. And then at the game, then it'll be that guy and then the undrafted.
Right, but we're talking about the first game where those guys aren't here right now. So somebody has to take the touches.
I know that. I told you. The first couple series is going to be either Breida or Coleman. It's going to be Mostert into the second quarter. The rest is the rookie. You can't risk these guys in a meaningless game. The guy can get his leg rolled up on, and there goes his ACL, or he breaks his leg. I mean, listen, shit happens. And if he's that valuable to our special teams, you can't risk Mostert. I understand he's ranked number 4 on the running back depth chart, but you can't risk Mostert if he's your special teams ace.
I mean, special teams is important. I just think you guys are putting way too much value in a gunner. Like, yes, he's good at being a gunner, but he's not like the only gunner that's out there. Like, I mean, yes, we don't know what we have as a gunner this year. We're all going off what Mostert did as a gunner since he's been here. We don't know what he is or what we have on this roster as a gunner. We're overvaluing a 4th-string running back because he plays gunner really, really good. You're saying we can't lose him. Gunner is a gunner. Like, it can be replaced anywhere on the field.
I don't think we have anybody on our roster right now that could fill Mostert as a gunner. I don't. I'll keep it real with you. You're not going to put Deebo Samuel as a gunner. You're not.
Your audio.
Talking about a guy that 3/4 of the times beats the punt down, untouched. He flies down the field sometimes before the punter even gets the ball. I mean the returner, and I mean this is just my opinion. If he's your special teams ace, you don't want to risk hurting him.
He does offer you stuff as a kick returner. I mean, he does. I mean, why do you think they didn't put Pettis as a punt returner that much last year? They don't want to risk getting him hurt. Damn, this thing is died.
I don't know, man. We'll see. We shall see. Like, I don't.
What about this? Jalen Hurd is running back in preseason week 1. Oh, shake it up on a baby. I know that's not happening.
Won't happen.
I know
he's got a better chance of lining up as tight end.
Nah, that ain't even happening.
I know.
Shake those dreams, but no, I'm just messing with you guys. It's going to be fun to see what happens, man. So Nick, we got to set an over under where it's clear you take the over and I take the under. Let's say Raheem Mostert. What's the fair over under so we can do this bet? Because trying to do it by the quarter, I've seen a team have the ball for 7-8 minutes in preseason before. So that's not really going to help us if we do it by the quarter. What do you think? 12 touches? You think he gets more than 12 touches?
Yeah, I'll go over 12.
All right, I'll take the under. There you go. That seems fair to me. I think 12 touches is the bet, and we'll bet a brew. We'll bet a 6-pack. You come over and I'll buy you a 6-pack of whatever you drink or whatever, and we'll do it that way. And Nick is not hating on Mostert. I see the question. He's not hating on Mostert. Nick is his point is valid, but the other points are valid also. He's saying that I'm overvaluing him for his special teams value, and he's got to still prove some things as a running back. I don't think he has things to prove still as a running back, and that's where the difference is with my opinion and Nick's opinion. We saw him do it those couple of games, and in that Raiders game, Mostert was hands down the best running back on the field that day for both teams. Until he broke his forearm, he was the best back on that field.
He was, but I mean, like we all say, it was against the Raiders. They couldn't do anything right that day. Not taking anything away from Mostert. I'm not taking anything away from Mostert. I think he's explosive. I think he's a decent third or fourth string running back, but he's not one of your top 3 guys. And you need running backs in preseason. That's why you stack your roster so much. To count him out as a guy that's not going to touch the football more than a quarter or 15 touches in a preseason game is absurd to me. Like, you still have something to prove to be on this team. You're not just staying here. He was on the depth chart as a running back last year. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's not like we don't have other running backs here. If we only had 2 running backs, then yeah, I could see your point. But we have 3 starting quality running backs. But we're just going to keep Mostert because he's a gunner?
I think Mostert is a quality running back also.
Well, you're not going to keep him because he's a running back.
But you don't – I don't know. He has to have a position. He has to have a position. There's no –
He's a gunner, a possible kick returner.
Well, he ain't returning kicks this year.
No, that's not true. He's been returning in practice. He's been returning in practice punts.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen it. We visually haven't seen any of them returning anything. But from what I was reading, he's been returning punts also.
People are like misunderstanding everything. I understand that special teams is the third phase of the game, and it's an important part of the game. But to tell me a fourth string running back, which is a fourth string running back right now in depth, is not going to run the football because he's too valuable to lose, it to me is just crazy. So we'll see. I got plus 12 carries over 12 carries. And
12 equals a push. If he ends up with 12 carries exactly, then it's a push. No one owes anybody anything. But yeah, we'll see. It's making it fun. You know what's crazy is that preseason week 1, I'll be in Canada, so I can't even. I won't even be able to pay up. But I'll be watching, man, and we'll have the stats and everything in week 2. Maybe we'll try to get together or watch the game together or something like that, and try to do it that way, man. Let me see if I have any other notes here. I know Tony's got to get going soon. It's getting late over here on the East Coast. I don't know if you guys know that, man. It's almost 1:30 already. Let me see what else I have here. We talked about Joshua Garnett and all the injuries, Witherspoon and Verrett. We talked about, did we say Matt Breida? Oh, Matt Breida. We're on running backs, right? Matt Breida, RB1, man. Nick Wagner of ESPN tweets out, and I saw this. We're in this dynasty leagues. My first time doing it. And there's this little robot that like makes suggestions and tells you updates for random players in the league, right? But Nick Wagner of ESPN tweeted out something today, and the robot said it, and I saw it when the robot said it. He said some strong reps today from running back Matt Breida, who continues to get used all over the place. He caught a touchdown pass in the flat and red zone drills and broke some big runs on the ground. Breida is also starting to get some looks as a kick returner. Matt Breida all over the place today, guys. Is Matt Breida RB1? Like, they're putting him everywhere. Outside, inside, running the ball, sweeps, kick returns. Matt Breida might be our most valuable running back next to Raheem Mostert. What do you guys think about that? Don't all speak at once.
I didn't hear what you said. Matt Breida is what?
Matt Breida might be our most valuable running back outside of Raheem Mostert.
Not outside of Raheem Mostert. I don't agree with that. You're not sneaking that by me. And that's why I asked you to rephrase and re-say. Matt Breida is very, very important. Matt Breida is more important on this team than Raheem Mostert is.
All right. So do you think that he's going to be RB1, though? I mean, I know we talked about this a little bit already, but with this report, does this report change your opinion on Matt Breida? Kick return now. They're going to throw him back there. Maybe that diminishes him. If he's really RB1, would you be putting him back there as kick returner? I can't think of a running back that was a starter that I've ever seen as a kick returner before.
I've seen starting wide receivers do it, though.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen Patrick Peterson do it, but not as starting running back. Running backs touch the ball more than wide receivers do. That's why I'm asking this question. it's very important, man. Let's see what Tony has to say before he has to get out of here. He looks like he's getting mad at the phone or something over there. He's got this dark, sinister look on his face.
No, I'm full. I'm a little asleep, tired.
Have you ever
the most
seen a running back?
Well,
oh, go ahead.
good. No, go ahead. Listen, go.
I was gonna say, have you ever seen a running back, a starting running back, be a kick returner before?
Maybe once, maybe Jamal Charles when he was in Kansas City. But not off the top of my head, no.
Christian McCaffrey.
Is he a starter?
He returns kicks?
Yeah, and he's a starter.
I wouldn't put a starter back there. That's just my personal opinion.
I agree with that. I don't think I would do it. I'm not saying that they're wrong for doing it, but I don't think I would do it. But yeah, I get it. What about you, Nick? You confident in your guy Breida? Do you think that's a positive thing for him?
Do I think it's a positive thing for him? Yes, because he's getting more, time to play. Do I think it's positive for the team? No.
All right, man. We'll see what happens. All right, man. I just wanted to bring that to the attention because we were talking about running backs. Let me see if I have anything else here. Let me look at my notes also on this page here. I talked about Samuel being the second fastest running back behind Richard James.
Oh, Philly Jetty says Kamara does it as well for the Saints.
Yeah, but the Saints were a two-back system. I'll be interested to see how they do it this year. The Saints had Ingram and Kamara splitting carries pretty evenly. But that is a good point, though. And speaking of Philly, the 49ers ran their own version of the Philly special.
Today, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
A handoff to someone, and they tossed it to Pettis, and Pettis threw it to Jimmy. They said that a safety and a linebacker were on Jimmy to break up the play. But they're not allowed to touch Jimmy, so Jimmy walked in for the touchdown, and the crowd went crazy. Do you guys think we see a play like this during the season? This is my question to you guys. Knowing that this play was going to get publicized and people were going to talk about it, and knowing that you're not allowed to touch Jimmy Garoppolo, do you think this play was put in for show, or do you think there's a slim chance that we might pull this off one time this year?
I mean, it's
if Kyle's putting it in practice, if Kyle's putting it in training camp, there's a strong possibility you will see it. Not a lot, but
he put it in training camp while fans were open. This was an open practice game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I wouldn't put it past Kyle Shanahan, to be honest. I think Kyle Shanahan would probably have some trick plays up his sleeve. It's just a matter if you'll ever see him use them. He may have just brought it out today to show, get the fans hype. Will he ever use it in a game? I wouldn't put it past him, but I doubt that he'll ever do something like that. He's too specific with his plays.
I've heard Kyle Shanahan say something, I think it was last year. He says, if we do something during preseason and it works, that means we can't use it during the season because teams are going to be prepared for it. This wasn't technically preseason, and the only way you're going to find out about this play being installed is if you're following beat writers. This didn't make NFL Network or anything like that. This is something that you have to be doing a lot of research on the team. And I don't know the extent to which opponents research and follow these people. If it was me, I would do it. I would have people subscribed and following every opponent that I play against. But it's interesting. Let's do a over under on a 0.5. So it's either going to get done or it's not. If we set an over under 0.5 and you take the over, that means that you think they do it one time. You take the under, they don't do it at all. But if we do it at just one, then it's even. What do you guys think? You going to take the over or the under? Tony, the people want you to wake up. They're They're typing in the messages here. Tony is falling asleep. Tony, wake up.
I'm tired.
He's putting me to sleep. Tony, log off, they say.
You look
I've
drained.
been up since
They're
5 o'clock in the morning, so
they're feeling for you, buddy. But really quick, one time,
Yeah.
yes or no, I guess, do we see this play at least once this season? Tony, and then Nick, and then I'll give my response.
I say yeah. I say yeah, when it's gonna be when you least expect it, he's gonna come up and just do it. And then I think definitely he'll do it. Definitely.
All right, Nick.
It's gonna be in a big game though.
I'm draining out, and I'm saying no.
I'm going to say yes, but only in the playoffs. Only if we make it to the playoffs and it's some crazy desperation play. That's the only time I think it's going to happen. So that's that. All right, man. Tony, if you want to dip, man, go ahead and do. I know you had a long day and everything over there, and little man ran you ragged over there. So if you got to go ahead and feel free to jump out of here. But I want you to have some last words before you go. All right.
I just want to talk about the pass rush today and how Joe Staley pulled Bosa over at the end of practice and was taking tips from him on what he sees, what he thinks that he could do different in his pass sets. What does he see when he rushes inside, outside, how he attacks them? I think that speaks a lot coming from Joe Staley. A lot.
Nick, did you have any thoughts on this?
Say it again.
I saw this report also today, and I think I responded a little different than Tony. So I want to get your opinion on this, Nick. Did you hear about all this?
Yeah, he had 2 sacks today, and he was like beating Joe Staley pretty good today. That Joe Staley was over talking to him about things. I don't know what was said. It could have just been as easy as them just talking. Nobody was in their ears and hearing what they were saying. So, I don't know what to take from it. I mean, I think I think Joe Staley is a pro's pro, and he could be saying to Bosa, so nobody makes fun of me, Bosa, that, hey, you're giving away this on this, or hey, when you do this, you're giving this away. Like, it could have been back and forth to both. And I think that's a leader. Like, that's what I think that is. If that's what's going on, I think that's a leader taking over. I don't want to necessarily say it's him getting info from Bosa, but it could be both. And I think that's what it is. It was like a collaborative conversation about what was going on, maybe something he saw, maybe something that Bosa saw in Staley, or Staley saying, hey, am I giving this away when I'm going to do this? Or is there something that I'm doing? I think it was just a collaborative criticism conversation probably.
So the report that I heard, or it was actually audio from Mike McGlinchey speaking and saying that Joe Staley asked Bosa, what were you thinking? Would you see? Da, 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 as if Staley is getting points and tips from, or pointers and tips from Bosa. I'll be honest with you guys. I think it was all fluff. I do. I really think it was all fluff. I'm not saying that they've never had a conversation on the side or anything like that. But what I do think is that this time of year, we hear all these positive reports about everybody. For the last 2 seasons, we heard how good Solomon Thomas looked, and he looked way better than last year. And And Solomon Thomas has never looked good as a 49er. But every offensive lineman, when they were asked about Solomon Thomas, oh, he is faster, he's stronger, he's this and he's that. And we kept hearing it and hearing it and hearing it. I think it's the same thing. They're trying to boost Bosa's value to the fans. They're trying to boost his value to himself. They want him to see the headlines and read the headlines and see the reports and have him thinking that Joe Staley, one of the best left tackles in the NFL, thinks very highly of him. And that's coming from the right tackle. I mean, I think that's what it is. I'm not putting too much credence into it personally. I hope it's true. I hope it's right. But when I see these reports, specifically this time of year, I think it's fluff and it's building the room up a little bit. That's all. So that's all I got on that. Go ahead, Nick. You're up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's what I kind of think it was. I think it's just we don't really know what was being said, and it's kind of that, it's good that these kind of reports are coming out that they're talking, but we don't know what the length of the conversation was. You know what I mean? So and even if Mike McGlinchey says, "Oh, he was asking him for this or whatever," it's like you kind of said, it's kind of like pumping up, Nick Bosa, getting everybody excited, you know what I mean, kind of thing. Bosa has been playing very well. So, for all the people that hated Bosa, it's for all the people that hated Bosa, there's a lot of nobody talking other than good things about Bosa. So,
all right,
I'm excited for Bosa, man. I really am. And most of them come on third down.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what happens there, man. I just, that's me personally. I know Tony's got to get going, man. Guys, I put up the Twitter handles. Make sure you guys give Tony a follow on Twitter, NJNinerFan499, 49ers and 9. All right, 499. Tony, man, thanks for hanging out, bro. I appreciate it, man. Don't take a Red Bull. Just go to sleep.
All right.
Just go to sleep, man.
Red Bull. I hope I can walk up the stairs. I'm fucking beat, bro. I'm sorry. I'm beat. What was I gonna say? When we jump on next?
I want to try an experiment tomorrow. For those of you who are watching right now, this is the YouTube channel, obviously. We have 5,000. We're almost at 5,900 subscribers here on this YouTube channel. We have over 10,000 subscribers on our Facebook page. I want to do an experiment and see if we can broadcast on Facebook tomorrow. Even if it's just for 15, 20 minutes. So we're going to try to do something tomorrow on our Facebook. If you are watching this and you are not a member of the Facebook page, please, guys, we say it in the beginning of every episode, go and check us out on Facebook. It is Nothing But Niners. It's spelled all the way out. And again, we are 10,000 strong, one of the bigger 49er fan groups on Facebook. So check us out there. Tony, that's the answer to your question, man. We're going to try to do something tomorrow. We don't have a time set. You guys know that I go to the cigar parlor at nighttime. I am not missing more fights for you guys like I did last week. So, yeah. What's up? What's happening? Why are we laughing? What did I miss?
I just saw Tim Duncan. They came across the screen where I saw that. It was so fucking funny. They tried to pan the camera off real quick, and it didn't happen. He even saw McGlinchey give you one of these.
I did not see that. Are you kidding me?
No, it was fun.
Hilarious.
Was this when Burroughs and Keanu Martin were doing the live show?
Yes.
Oh,
they were talking. They were looking at one of the position groups, and all of a sudden you see just like big ass 69 back, and he's
got the nerve to have 69 on.
You see him turn his head like this, and then the camera went like this. Whoop.
That was Robert Alberino behind the camera today too.
Yeah, shout out to Robbie, invading the poor man's space.
Oh my God, yeah, man. Robbie was proud of himself today, and I have a quote here from him on being a cameraman, and this is literally from Robbie. Hold on, let me pull it up here. He said, and I quote, "No job too big or too small." And another thumbs up for it. If you guys were watching the broadcast live, he put the thumbs up on when Miss Martin pointed out that Robbie was the guy behind the camera. That's love, man. You got the VP of the team being your cameraman for the 49ers live thing. That's this locker room, the building. There's something special going on here, guys. It really, really is. And I can't wait. So we'll see what happens here, man. But are we keeping this thing going? We wrapping it up? What's up, Nick? I know there were some more questions. I saw the question about do we beat Seattle in Seattle. I was trying to give Tony an out here to get out of here, and then we keep going. But I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's sticking around or what. But we'll keep on talking here. One of the questions was up a ways, and this was the second time I think the same person posted it that I saw it. But it was Will we beat Seattle? All right, Tony, be safe, brother. Will we beat Seattle in Seattle this year? And that question is a really, really good one. I do think we beat Seattle this year. I'm just not sure if we beat them in Seattle. And as much as I want to say yes, I can't do it with confidence, Nick. Man, talk me off my ledge. I think was it you that had us sweep in Seattle this year?
Yo, I have us winning in Seattle for the division this year.
Oh my God. That is the last game of the year, right? That's week 17.
Oh, we're doing that shit this year, bro. Jump on the Nick train. What? Let's go. We are beating Seattle in Seattle for the division this year to dethrone their asses.
2 11-4 teams walk into CenturyLink Field. Only one of them will emerge with 12 victories in the division title. And Nick thinks it's going to be the 49ers.
Yo, the Niners are finishing first. Seattle's finishing second. The Rams are finishing third. And Cardinals are finishing fourth. That's the way our division works out.
That is tough. I don't know, man. I'm just not confident saying it, Nick. I'm not confident.
Let's go. Just say it. Let's go. We're going to the Super Bowl this year, remember? We're beating Seattle in Seattle this year.
Oh, my God.
Let's go.
I'm gonna answer this question for you guys on the next show that we do. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my PlayStation in my room. I'm gonna download the newest Madden. And I'm gonna play the first game I play. I'm gonna play 49ers versus Seattle in Seattle. And if I win, then I'm gonna come back and say, yes, we're gonna beat Seattle in Seattle. Keep in mind, I haven't played Madden in like 3 or 4 years, so I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. But we'll see what happens, man. I don't know, man. I see people saying might get on the wagon. Come on, man. Rocco, man. Listen, man. I'm on the 49ers wagon. I've got us winning double-digit wins. I got us taking the wild card or division. I can't remember the breakdown that I had it, but I know I had us double digits. I had us playoffs, and I got us going to the Super Bowl. I just don't know if we beat Seattle in Seattle.
You can't have us going to the Seattle or going to the Super Bowl and not be able to beat Seattle at home.
Yes, I can. Yes.
If we're a wild card team, we may have to play Seattle at home.
No, not necessarily. I mean, it's possible. It is very possible. But what I'm saying is, oh shit, you're trying to back me to the corner. Get out of here with your logic,
bro. That tenure is over. I'm telling you. Let's go. Mike, we're beating fucking Seattle in Seattle this year. We're talking this shit into existence for the division. For the division, bro.
They're so tough up there, man. Like they, you know what? Fuck it. We got them, baby. The run game. The run game is going to travel well. We're going to have 4 backs that can go out there and do it 5+ yards a carry. We're going to have a defensive front that is going to be one that the NFL is going to regret letting them put together between Bosa, Ford, Buckner, Armstead, my man Blair, Julian Taylor having a good day today. Finally, we heard some good news about Julian Taylor, Contavious Street. Oh yeah. Seattle, bring it. Okay, I'm all aboard. Defense and run game. Those are the 2 things that travel well, and I'm all aboard now. So I'm ready to do this. What's up, baby?
Hold on. Cards ain't no way going to be second. I never said they'd be second. I said Seattle will be second. I said Cards finished 4th in the division. Look, Seattle's defensive line is not good, dude. They're getting Sue back. That's it. Russell Wilson has been carving that defense up and hasn't been sacked the entire training camp. Bro, they are on the downsend. I know we say this every year, but Michelle, Tamika, and Tanya want to ride that train. Let's go. Mike, are you there? There we go. Now we got audio.
I'm here, man. I'm here, bro. I see you getting hype over there, man. People are buying in, man. Look at this. We're gonna whoop Wilson ass. Like it's gonna happen, man. All right, I'm in. We're taking it. We're gonna beat Seattle in Seattle week 17.
Go.
I'm in.
Go.
I'm in. I am in, man. And you know who's gonna be our leading wide receiver that game?
Dante Pettis.
Say it, baby. That's it right there. That's it right there. Dante Pettis.
Dante Pettis. Let's go. He's a Seattle beater, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, the Rams always play us tough. Seattle always plays us tough. And Arizona always plays us tough. But I'm telling you guys, if you believe that this team is going to go into playoffs, we need to beat Seattle at home. And I'm telling you, I really believe the division is going to come down to week 16. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I really believe in my heart that the division is coming down to that. And dude, the NFC North is stacked too. They might have the two teams come out of there for the wild card. We got to win the division this year.
You know what I was thinking about, how tough our division is going to be with these three teams that people are expecting to be at the top, and then you got the NFC North. I think they're going to beat up on each other. I think the NFC North is going to be much like the NFC East. I think they send one team. Both of those divisions, I think they send one team, because you got the South with the Saints and the Falcons and the Panthers. Those teams are always flip-flopping and going back and forth. I got the Saints getting it again this year. We don't know what we're going to get from Cam Newton. We know they're going to throw the ball to Christian McCaffrey a ton, but you game plan for him, you can stop the Panthers. The Falcons have been up and down, and they've been trending down since the departure of our head coach and their offensive coordinator in Kyle Shanahan. So I think that I think it's ours for the taking, man. I don't think the NFC East sends two teams. I don't think the NFC North could send two teams. The NFC South might maybe be able to do it also. I'm not quite sure, but we're taking the NFC West. All right, let's start wrapping this up. I want to try to keep this under 2 hours. I can see the timer up there. Question: how do you compare this team with the 2012-2013 team? Shout out to Will TNT. All right, Kenny. We kind of did this with the defense. We didn't do the entire team.
Yeah.
We didn't do the entire team. So if you guys want to see that one, I don't remember the name of the episode. We did the defense, and I think you called it a push, and I sided with this defense. The linebackers for the other one was Willis, Bowman, Ahmad Brooks, and Alden Smith. They clearly won, but the defensive line was this one. They had in 2012, it was Justin Smith, Ray McDonald, and Ian Williams, where this year we have Buckner, Ford, Bosa, and Day, or even Armstead. It doesn't matter who you put in there, Blair. Those guys are better than the front that we had then. The secondary, I'm giving the tip to here, and I think that's where we varied. I think this is where we varied. It was on the secondary. You like Carlos Rogers. I mean, no, not Carlos. You like Dante Whitner and Deshaun Goldson over our safeties, and I thought that was fair. But I do think that they are more enforcers as far as coverage goes. I think Ward, I think Tart, and I think who's the other guy? Harris. I think those guys cover better. They might not hit as hard as those two did, but I think they cover better. And so I gave the nod to our secondary, because then you add in Sherman Nikello. What I'm expecting with Sherman Nikello versus Carlos Rogers or Parrish Cox or Terrell Brown or Chris Culliver. I think that we have better guys as far as coverage goes. And so that was the tiebreaker. As far as the offense goes, did we do the offense? I feel like we did talk about Kaepernick and Alex Smith, because I think I gave the quarterbacks the nod over there, right? I picked the 2000 guys. I picked this team. I picked the team that we have here. So this was an exercise we did already. And you either called it a push or you sided with the old team, but it's out there, guys. I can't remember which one.
I'll tell you what, one thing that this team does have better this year is more depth.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll leave that at right now. And
it was running back. Running back was a big thing. We had Kendall Hunter and Frank Gore. I sided with the running backs, even though it was only the two of them. And the reason I did that, I don't think we had Tevin Coleman when we did this exercise, though.
No.
But the reason I did that is because Frank Gore was the bruiser and Kendall Hunter was the scat guy who can catch the ball and pop it off for a big one. So, yeah, man. 11-5 is possible. I think we get 12 wins this year. What's up? So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it, man. Absolutely. Anything else, Nick, before we get up out of here?
The Nick train is starting to pull into the station. Let's go.
You know we're having a good year or a good offseason when Nick starts talking positively about Richie James, Kendrick Bourne, when I start talking positive about Trent Taylor. Like, this is a good year, guys. This is a good year, and we're ready to tear shit up this year, man. Nick, man, go ahead and give them all the stuff, and let's sign this thing out here. We got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, man, check us out. Like us and subscribe us right here on YouTube. And you can check out our Facebook page, Nothing But Niners, as well as our Instagram, Nothing But Niners. Check us out on Snapchat and Snapchat and Twitter, Nothing But 9ERS. And that's pretty much all I got, man. You can follow me on Twitter at 49erfaithful365. You can follow Mike at 49ers Mike _ NFL. That's pretty much all I got.
Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.
We out of here.